Hi there, Andy Ron here with Montana Land Source with this week's video summary of the Montana Land Report for August 11th, 2021. This week we tipped back into more properties leaving the market or potentially leaving the market than coming on the market. 9 pending sales and 5 solds with only 7 new listings. Although 7 new listings is a healthy number for this time of year, and we are seeing the market respond to this extreme situation of lack of supply and high demand. But nonetheless, again, this week tipping back. Over the past couple weeks, generally, we've seen more new listings coming on the market and less leaving as the market has responded and sellers are putting their properties on the market. I hear from brokers that there are some big and significant listings coming on the market. Again, landowners and potential sellers responding to this extremely high demand, low volume, or low supply environment that we are in the Montana land market. We have a new website design coming out that we're excited about, which is going to include more market stats. If you notice, we've already updated our individual property pages on Montana Land Source, mtlandsource.com, with a much nicer design and more information on individual properties. But our homepage is going to be updated hopefully within a week or so with, again, market stats right on our homepage. And just to share some of those with you now and cast some light on this current market we're in right now. Currently, we are down 37% from the numbers of property on the market compared to this day last year in 2020. And remember, on this day last year in 2020, we were already in an accelerated market due to COVID and other things. So 2020 was up from 2019, but nonetheless, 37% less properties on the market today than this day in 2020. So that addresses that supply issue. Days on market, down 100 days from this day last year. We're looking at a median days on market for active listings on the market today of about 250 days on market. That's the lowest I have ever seen in my career here in the Montana land market. Number of sales up 55% from this day in 2020. That's pretty dramatic. So again, just an extreme lack of supply, extreme high demand. Clearly not a sustainable scenario in the long run. We will see some kind of a correction at some point. We're not sure what form that'll take, but it does appear, and we've been talking about this in this video through most of this summer of 2021, that the market is starting to respond. We are seeing an uptick in the number of listings, and the word from brokers is that that is only going to continue. In other news, a lot of fire activity still going on in Montana. A major fire southeast of Billings, town of Lame Deer and Ashland under evacuation orders. So that is pretty scary to see actual communities at this point being impacted by evacuation orders. Remember, on the Montana Land Source map app, we do have a fire layer with a couple different layers for fires that you can check out. You do have to activate those layers. They're not set to appear by default. You go into the layer toolbar and activate those layers. If fires have been mapped, that perimeter is there to see, and that fire, which is the Richard Spring, I believe, fire north of the Northern Cheyenne Indian Reservation, that perimeter has been mapped, and you can see how that lies and see what properties, as far as active listings and sales, that might impact. And finally, in the current release of the Ranch Investor podcast, we had the fortune of having the Inderlands, who ranch in Big Timber, on our podcast. That's actually going to be a 2-episode, and the first has been released. Very interesting multi-generational ranch outfit that has integrated a lot of what we've talked about in that podcast as far as regenerative practices and just innovative and progressive practices. One thing of interesting note, with these drought conditions and fire conditions and whatnot, extreme tough situation for ranchers, and right now many ranchers are short on hay, short on feed, having to destock, and the Inderlands had mentioned that they, at least at the time of recording of that podcast, actually had a reserve of hay that they built up through their innovative practices. So that is pretty fascinating. That is the land report for today. Thank you everyone for watching our video. Go to mtlandsource.com for more information. We have free subscriptions on MT Land Source, which enables you to receive the Montana Land Report, which goes out via email every Wednesday to over 5,000 recipients. And check us out on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. Thank you, and have a good week.